Joining me this Sunday on the sofa with Esther is singer-songwriter Willie West. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa once again with yours truly, Esther Austin. It's been a day. I almost missed this interview, but as they say, persistence is it resistance is futile or persistence or something like that. Anyway, without further ado, I have this incredible blues artist, I would say, with me today, Willie West. Willie, welcome.
Good to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. And Willie, they call you the original soul and blues man. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what they say,
That's what they say. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this question. And I usually ask my guests, in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, you look a bit like a crab shell. Who is Willie West?
Who's Willie West?
Mm.
I'm one of the soul singers, I said, of the past, because a lot of people remember me from then.
Mm.
I've been singing since I was, say, 15 years old, and I'm now blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. I understand the language, don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. And, what do you feel in all this time, Willie? I mean, do you still perform? You're still performing, correct?
Yes, but since the virus thing, I haven't been performing any. So I've been off for a while.
Mm.
But I'm just really writing and getting some of my songs together.
Excellent, excellent. But what do you feel has been the longevity of your existence in the music industry?
Well, I've been with the industry ever since I recorded in 1959.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a up and down kind of thing, for me, And I've met a lot of people and into the entertainment business, So artists, a lot of artists, especially like Gemini.
Oh, Gemini Burke, yes, he introduced me to you. Yes, great guy. He's a great guy.
I call him nephew now.
Oh, it's family then, is it? It's all family now.
But, I've been into the business a long time. And I've had a lot of ups and downs because a lot of people, I feel that the more people that don't see you, and you don't get promoted. If people don't hear or see you, you don't know you.
Yes.
That's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Willie, what is it about? I mean, because there's so many different genres of music, but what is it about soul and the blues that touches your soul?
Well, I came from that era, I remember being a kid and listening to some old stuff like B.B. King, and Howlin' Wolf, Elmo James, all of these older guys from back in the day. And that's been instilled in me from a kid, listening to the old stuff and, soaking it in and just letting it be me,
And what is it about those legends, I would say, that really captivated you? And you know, they still have longevity. I mean, most of them have passed now, but what is it that still keeps them, I would say, fresh in some of our minds and hearts? What is it? What is that to you?
Well, you know, when I listen to, I'm always listening to old stuff, you
Mm,
know, guys that's been here before me and left. And I always listen to these kind of guys, and it sticks to me.
mm,
It's just it embodies me. That's what I love, you know. And I can't rest at night unless I listen to something they say Bobby Blue Bland or some BB King. I put my ear things in and I lay back and relax and listen to these guys, and it just takes me to another place in life,
yes,
you
yes.
know, and it reminds me of where I came from.
Mm,
You know, I came from a very hard way, and it reminds me of that. And I look at myself, you know, not saying I made it, but I'm still here.
mm,
And there's always that chance where you can get, boom, all of a sudden
yeah.
something can happen. Because as long as you're alive and kicking, you can always do something with life in your music or whatever your career is.
Excellent, excellent. And I want to ask you, you know, you said it's been a hard place where you've come from. So I'd like you to maybe share a little bit about that, really, but also how much of your music has that hard place inspired?
Most of the stuff I do comes from here,
Mm,
and it comes from back then. If I would go in the studio now and record, I'm recording the past. Now I write new songs and all, but I have that aura of the past around me.
mm,
I have that old generation kind
mm,
of groove, you know, and where I where I come from, that was the time in the era for me, you know, as
mm.
a kid coming up, listening to all of this stuff. And then I started singing the blues and, you know, and I can do blues and beautiful ballads and, you know, I can do it all,
Mm.
the Western and all, but I'm mostly sold on soul music from the heart, you know.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, a lot of the artists that you've mentioned that you grew up on that inspired you and that still inspire you, um, you know, their music was, it's almost like an outpouring. Their music was a message. Their music was their vocal, their personal and collective and cultural expression. Would you say,
Yes,
Willie?
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, in that sense, it's because listening to you, you know, music, we have music and people, we all experience and feel music in different ways. You know, music touches on the
mhm,
different emotions,
yeah,
um, but also music tells a story and it's part of history as well. I think
it
you're going to
is.
with this. So can you share a little bit more about music from that perspective? Maybe culturally, a little bit culturally as well, because with the blues is a sort of very mournful and expressive, deep soul expressive type of music. It's almost like a lamentation of the woes you've been through, but also the hope of where you're going.
Yes,
Mm,
yes. I've been I've always followed that kind of a situation. Whereas I like to do I like to sing blues, but in a way to affect my audience,
mm,
make them see or feel where I'm coming from.
mm.
My vocal uh, thing is, you know, as it is now, I'm much older for voice wise, singing wise. I still have 90% of my vocals
Oh,
abilities.
wow. Can you do a little now for me?
Well, oh, you know, I like to, you know, I like to do some Johnny Taylor, some different kind of stuff, you know. But my stuff is it's mainly me.
Mm.
I would say I have several different kinds of voices.
Mm.
And when people listen to me, if when you listen to my stuff, which I'll get some more to you that
Mm.
you can hear, but you can check me out through the times that when I'm singing, you can hear different, vocals of
Mm.
Willie West, separate, sounding totally different, but it's me.
It's you.
It's me. It's me with all of those different kinds of voices, you
Mm.
know. So when you listen to my stuff, then you will, you'll see
Mm. Yeah,
where
there's
I'm
a few,
coming.
but there's a few that I've listened to, and you really at this operating at this real high energy pace. Um, and I've seen a few of the slower ones, but it was more high energy ones that I was drawn to at the time. Um,
Uh,
and Billy, what would you say is the message of your music?
my message is to my other musicians, vocalists, is to keep doing what you're doing, keep building on what we started on, and
Mm.
and it'll go, it'll happen for you one way or the other. But
Mm.
always remember, as long as you're here, that it's always it can always happen for
Wow,
you. You know,
that's succinct, that's powerful, and that's a nugget of wisdom. There's so much in what you say. And moving forward, I mean, you do soul and you do the blues. Now, I just want to go a little bit deeper
yeah.
around the blues, because the blues is, for me, the blues is a little bit like hip hop. It's almost like a culture on its own
Hmm.
because of where it's coming from. Yeah. So for you, when you sing the blues, and I'm going to ask you the same thing when you sing soul, what are the different feelings around that?
The feeling around blues, sometimes it can get you in a more sad mood and in a more spiritual mood, you know, a more joyous mood. And that's the way I project myself. When I'm singing the blues, you can see from every expression upon my face. You can see it, you can feel it. I've sat in clubs and I went to a club one night and the guy said, "You sing?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he had a band.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Can you do a cappella?" I said, "Yeah." I said, so I sang, you know, songs by myself.
Mm.
And really, it was amazing to me that I controlled the audience with just singing from the heart.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
it just that's what I do, and I'm just I get overwhelmed when I even talk about it because it it sends me, to a different place, you know. And I do love blues. I love rock. I came from the whole era because now I can get on some other little things too, But I've worked with a group called the Meters.
Mm.
I don't know if you uh, had read that, but
Yes, I did on your profile. Yeah.
yeah, I work with them. These guys were one of the greater groups out of New Orleans, Louisiana, one of the greatest. And I've worked with them, and I worked with the rock bands, and we
Oh,
do did we did Hendrix, we did
oh,
Steppenwolf,
Jimmy.
we did all of that. Yeah, I met Jimmy many years ago, but out of all of this stuff, the hip hop and all this stuff. I dig hip hop, but it's just not my stick. I love it, but it's just not my thing.
Mm.
Welcome to Soul TV. We now stream our TV shows on Melon app. TV shows such as documentaries, reality TV shows, talk shows, cookery programs, music shows, concerts, red carpet events, and a whole lot more. Melon is a free live streaming app used by top creator podcasters and more. Multi-stream to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and more with ease. If you would like to find out more, check out the website at www.melanapp.com. That's www.melanapp.com. Melon App, used by Soul TV.
Wow. And then you've just spoken about the blues and how it makes you feel. Is it the same feeling when you sing soul, or when you delve into soul? Or if it is the same thing, what is the difference? There must be a slight difference, or maybe not.
The difference is the feeling, that feeling you get from, when you sing a blues song, you kind of feel where it's originated from.
You got that shoulder thing going on, really.
Yeah. And when you're singing a beautiful ballad, it comes out, but it's just expressions and stuff of how you express yourself and how you look, all kind of expressions upon your face. Like I noticed guitar players, they do all of this, but that's coming from within, and that's where I'm coming from.
Excellent. And you said that at this moment in time you're doing a lot of writing, and hopefully you will be back out on stage performing at some point.
I hope so. And actually, I'm thinking about setting up some work pretty soon.
Good. And with this, is this new material, or is it just material that you're completing?
Well, the material. I'm sorry.
And what can we expect from this new material coming through?
Well, I got a lot of stuff. I'm talking about life and changes that people go through, and a lot of stuff pertaining to my music and stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I put down. I write, stories about different things like that. But other than that, I'm hanging in.
Excellent. And I got one more question. I know I keep sort of trying to wind this down, but I just love your vibe and your energy. And I keep going back to the blues. You don't have to excuse me with that. But when someone is putting a blues song together, creating a blues song, because I interviewed, if I remember, I think I interviewed Muddy Waters, is it Junior, a couple of years ago, and BB King. I've interviewed one of his children, and it's interesting when they talk about the blues. And there's another lady that's coming to mind, but when they talk about the blues, it is a different sort of narrative to when you talk about the soul. And I know soul is supposed to be about the soul, but it's almost as if the blues goes to a deeper place, man. It goes to a deeper place.
It does. You think about how you've been treated, and your people, and the rest of the people in this world, how they've been treated. I mean, our people, and it kind of inspires you to want to come up with some true lyrics about that as such, So, but that's basically what I do. I think on the hard times, I think on the good times, and I know that you can have good times, things can be great, but things can also be bad. Things can also go in another direction. So I always learned about that from a kid, that don't always expect everything to be peaches and cream. Because it goes another direction. But when writing songs, that's basically what I do. I think about, well, what happened to this lady, or what does she think about me, or why did she hurt me, or why am I alone, or I put my mind into other people, where they're coming from. Because myself, I'm very happy in life, but I went through a lot of stuff in life,
Mm,
ups and downs, which you always have, like I said, you know. But that's my thing when I'm writing. I think about that and just life, people, you
mm,
know.
mm. And what was it that you took away or learned or experienced from coming through that period of COVID when we were all on lockdown? How did it affect you? Did it, give you a different insight or perspective to life, Willie?
It did. It taught me that you must follow the rules. If if they tell you to do a certain thing that pertaining to your health, you need to do that. You need to follow these rules because if you don't, then it's on you.
Mm,
Stuff can happen that you don't expect to happen, and next thing you know, you're out of here.
mm.
And when I say out of here,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
so if you don't follow rules and you listen to let's say fools,
Mm,
you become one.
mm,
You know, one when you collect foolish ideas, you become foolish.
mm.
That's
Interesting. As we say, that's a conversation for another time.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. But anyway, let's keep
Okay.
on moving today.
You just keep on moving. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's what you've taken out from that experience, that you've kept on moving. Um,
Mhm.
you keep on writing and you keep on holding onto that hope.
Yes.
People will remember you in some way if you keep writing and surfacing in different ways, whether that's for music, for interviews. Just keep on that keep on that track.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sorry, there is another question. I'm trying to really keep this, but just what I mean, you mentioned a few people that you performed with. Can you mention any others, any other artists that you perform with? Because you mentioned Jimi Hendrix. Um, you know,
Well, I met Hendrix. I didn't perform with him, but I met
oh,
him.
okay, apologies.
And I knew him.
Mm,
Hendrix, uh, BB King. I met BB. I
mm,
met, I was friends with Bobby Bland.
okay.
I knew these guys. Uh, uh, Guy, there's so many of them. If I start to naming so many of them,
Mm,
it'll just take up all your time. But
yeah.
most of this guy, I'm old enough to know that I've been around long enough to know all of these, to meet all of these people.
Mm,
Otis Reddings, I toured with Otis, opening for Otis. My friend of mine used to book me out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
mm,
Percy Stovall, he's been gone a long time, but he used to book Mary Wells, whom I met, Irma Thomas, Jimmy Reed. Uh, he booked James Brown. I mean, just a whole bunch of people,
mm,
and Eddie Floyd. Uh, I mean, the whole bunch of
mm.
them. And my wife is whispering, "Did you tell her about this?" you know,
Yeah, we been seeing you up and down there, but it's
He
okay.
remembers most of it than I do. But anyway, you know how and don't mind me, I kind of like go off in different
That's
directions.
fine. No, that's fine. That's
But
cool.
I
That's
do
cool.
want people to understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I met Sam Cooke, Hank Ballard, the Midnighters, in the Midnighters. You remember them? Hank
Yes.
Ballard and the Midnighters? Yeah, all these people are Ike and Tina Turner.
Oh wow. Yes.
Tina,
Jimmy
they
Thomas
became,
died this
yeah,
year. Yeah.
they used to come to my hometown in up in Thibodaux, Louisiana,
Mm.
and it was a club we used to play, and they would bring Chuck Willis, Tina Turner, Nappy Brown, you know, Bobby Blue Bland, BB King, all these acts used to come to this club, and I
Mm.
used to go there when I was a kid and
Mm.
peek through the windows and watch, So that's
Wow. All these different memories. Brilliant. This is brilliant. This is what I love hearing, and I love hearing those stories. But they're more than stories.
I'll tell you more about Guitar Slim and all these other people.
Okay. Well, that's for
Guitar
part 2,
Shawty.
right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. So as we wind down, Willie.
I'd like to send a shout out to all of my friends and all of the recording artists that's of today. Wishing you all well. Do good in your career.
No, you've come across really well. This has been a really nice, really pleasant interview. You got really nice temperament, and it's been really cool just sitting listening to you. And I wish you all the best. And yeah, and you never know, there's gonna be a part 2 when you finish writing your new music, Willie.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch again. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much. And also, I'll let people know where they can find you. We'll have that all streaming along the bottom very soon. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being the musician you are, and keep on writing and keep on playing and keep on singing the blues and soul.
Thank you. I hope to see you soon.
One day I'll be coming to the States pretty soon. Bless you.
Right.
Thank you.
Bless you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.